We're Hassani and Danielle Pettiford, and we're a real couple with real problems who almost called it quits.
I was very frustrated. I became very disconnected, very jaded and cold.
We have 4 children, going on 20 years of marriage, and we practice what we preach.
Our mission, to change the way couples relate to one another and teach them the skills needed to improve the quality of their relationships. This is the Couples Academy Show.
Hey guys, welcome to the Couples Academy Show. My name is Hassani.
And I'm Danielle.
And we are here for another great morning to talk to you about all things concerning relationships. Good to have you on. It's been, we weren't on yesterday. We weren't on yesterday because we were busy working, folks. And sometimes we just have to do what we have to do.
We're busy saving a marriage.
Yeah, buddy.
And that's what we do. We do so well here at Couples Academy. And it's the grace of God that allows us to do that. Sometimes it causes us to dial in a little bit deeper with a couple so we can't show up to the show. So when we go MIA, y'all just start praying because you know we're going in deep with a couple.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, we're glad that you're a part of the show today, and wherever you may be dialing in from, we want to know where you are. Name your city, name your state, name your country. We want to be able to connect with you. And remember, before we get started, what do they have to do, Danielle?
They need to like, share, and subscribe. And they need to hit that notification bell so that they don't miss a show. And they really actually need to do it. And I see that they've been doing it more and more, right? That's why people are hearing about the show. Yeah. It's spreading from continent to continent thanks to you. So keep doing it, guys.
Yeah, and when you click, especially if you're on YouTube, when you click like, in the algorithms, it helps the show to be spread to more people. So we're not asking you to like it because we have low self-esteem and we want to know that you like us.
Right.
You're actually...
Do you like it? Do you like us?
You're certifying that this is a show worthy of being seen by other people.
That's right.
So if you click like, if you share, it helps to get this message out.
That's right.
And so we're glad that you are part of our community. And as we serve you, serve us by serving other people. All right, guys, we've been in a series. We're talking about becoming high value, particularly how to become a high value husband. We know that there is a difference between just simply being a man and a husband. A husband is a man with a specific function, purpose, duty, and responsibility to a particular person, his wife, and then obviously if he's a father, how to become a high value father to the children. And so it requires selflessness. It requires thinking outside of oneself, serving other people. It requires a lot of things. If you think about, typically what's being spread out about the high value man is very self-centered, self-focused, narcissistic.
Selfish.
Yeah, I'm at the highest height of my hill, if
and
you
now
will.
your value is declining though. I'm at the top of my hill, but babe, your value is only declining. Because you're over 30, you know, you got a little tummy, you got 3 and 4 kids. Who's going to want you?
Right, exactly.
Odds are nobody's going to want you, but me, I'm valuable. Oh, like I know that like it just doesn't it get under your skin and make it's like scratching chalkboards.
Yeah, and if you truly want to know who you are, you have to go back to your source, right? At the end of the day, if you want to know about a car, you go to the manufacturer of the car because they have all of the knowledge, all of the insight, all of the wisdom about how that particular car was designed and made and functioned and purpose and this and the other. And so that's what we want to do, right? So we've given you what's out there, what people are talking about, but now we want to come with a true foundation for every man who's in a relationship, who wants to know how to do relationships right. Because I will say, Danielle, the reality is so many people who are in relationships, one of the biggest issues that they have in their marriage, they may not come because of this, but one of the biggest issues is gender roles. Gender roles, whether they've been married a year, whether they've been married a decade, they're still struggling to figure out what is the role of a man, what is the role of a woman. We have all these unspoken expectations, these assumptions. We've been handed down scripts from mom and dad, from society, from media. The world is telling us what a marriage is supposed to look like and how we function in it. Then when we get in it, we lose all sanity, we lose our consciousness, and it becomes a battle between those individuals. So we need to understand, if you're going to be a husband, what does that look like? What is being a high value husband? Now, before we do that, there was a weekend intensive that we just did. They just finished on yesterday, and his value has significantly increased. So what we want to do is go to that video and show you. We want you to see the transformation that took place with this couple. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Joseph Allen. This is my wife, Pamela Allen. And we came to the couples retreat because of some horrible issues we were having.
I was already packing, making arrangements to leave the marriage. I've made preparation, and I actually was still thinking about it when I came. So if anybody is thinking about it or preparing or have separated and is doing their own thing, I think they should come and experience it. At least give it one last shot, because that was really my thought. I'm gonna give it one last shot, and because we have been through the same thing over and over and over and over.
Right.
And just I forgive, but never going through the real process, never having guidance on
from a real
asking questions.
Right, from somebody that's a real marriage counselor. What I would say to anybody that's ever had an issue with their marriage, like Pam and myself, to come to Couples Academy. This is the best thing for couples, especially any couple that feel like they I'm at the end. I'm at the end. It's a great experience. This is like winning the lottery for marriages that are going through something, infidelity, whatever it is. To come here, it's once in a lifetime. Everybody will not get a chance to experience the love that you give to us, and the warmth and the openness that's here. I never experienced anything. It's a healing experience. You come through the doors one way. I guarantee you, I don't care how hard your exterior is or how hard your heart is, your heart will be turned to flesh. You'll lose your stony heart.
Powerful, right?
That was powerful. Your heart will be turned to flesh.
Yeah, it goes from a stony heart to a heart of flesh. You come in one way, you leave another. What was powerful about that particular testimony, this is a wife who already made a decision. I'm out. I'm packing my bags. I'm leaving. Yeah, we can do this intensive thing, but guess what, Joker? It ain't gonna make a difference. I'm out. She arrives. One of the first questions we ask is, how are you feeling? What's going on? She's saying one thing outwardly, but internally, I'm just waiting to get back home because I already got a plan in place. I got my bags packed at the door. I got all of my stuff set up. I'm going to be all right. And then all of a sudden that shifted and changed throughout the course of this weekend. And to know that there's hope, there's healing, and they're ready to take life on in a way that they never have before.
Yeah, by the end of that, they were on cloud 9. It was just crazy. And but they were realists too. Like they did opt to do the Moving Forward program, which is significant because you put all this work in and you open up a whole can of worms and you deal with a whole bunch of stuff, and then you have to go home. And it's like, okay, now what do I do? We did some deep dive and we got a lot of things resolved, but I'm still stuck with myself, right? I'm still me, right? That's the battle, right? Your own personal battle. And so the Moving Forward program helps these couples to continue with the decision that they made to turn around, do things right, and to move forward. So I was really happy that they decided to join the community.
And if you heard her, I was ready to go, right? And we say this all the time. We've said this on the show. Oftentimes our wives are not looking for a reason to leave. You've given them plenty of reasons to leave. They're coming and giving it one more chance because they're looking for a reason to stay.
Give me one reason to stay.
Give me one good reason to stay. And as a result, she found it. He delivered, and they're in a much better place. So if that's you and you're vacillating back and forth trying to figure out what do we do, should we make the decision, should we make the investment? I mean, at the end of the day, folks, everybody says it. If you listen to them enough, it was an investment, right? But the reality is, what worth having is not worth investing in.
Absolutely nothing.
You think about your education, you think about your career, you think about your personal goals, you think about we will invest in a vacation, we invest in memories and experiences, right? And they come and go, right? And so we hold on to a memory.
And if it doesn't work out, we invest in a divorce.
Exactly. And guess what? There's such a high cost.
Financial destruction.
A relational cost, a financial cost. It's so much more of a cost to go down that path than to make the investment to invest in your marriage. Listen, guys, we're talking about how to become a high-value husband. We'll be right back after a short break, but we want to hear from you. If you have questions or you have comments about being a high-value husband, put them in the comments and we'll acknowledge you on the other side of this break. Be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. You are watching the Couples Academy show, and I just want to welcome some people to the show this morning. Fedlina from Nevada, welcome. B. O'Neill in Louisiana. Clarence, good morning. Rick Benet from Michigan. Jerome in Memphis, Tennessee. Vashan is looking in from Chicago. Troy, good morning. He's in Arizona. Troy and Deidre, hey there. Kimberly is tuning in. Cat Band, good morning. J.D. Pruitt. Rhoda, Shonda D. from South Carolina. Ralph from Ohio. Linda from, doesn't say where, but she says, hey there. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, everybody. I see Wendy is tuning in. Hey, Jewel. Good morning. Welcome, guys. Thank you for tuning in, liking, sharing, and subscribing.
You know, we're talking about the high-value husband. I want to go to some of your comments first just to get this conversation started. Fedalina says, yes, a high-value husband is the stuff money can't buy. Love, honor, and respect. We're talking about values.
Yes.
That's exactly what you're talking about. How are you going to be a high-value person if you don't have values? Right?
That's like...
It's not about what your value is monetarily. It's about what values you have internally.
Right. And actually, it's not that the high-value man doesn't have values. It's what he values that is the problem, right?
True.
I mean, he definitely has values, but do those values align with yours? And that's what's going to be the thing that's going to carry you to a place of fulfillment in your life when you are with somebody who you align in your values. I think what we can say is that the high-value man in the way it's being described isn't someone who has very good principles and character.
Yeah, pretty much. Bible Children's Story B says, how do I become less insecure with a high-value husband? I don't really understand what that even means.
I get that.
What does that mean?
How do you become less insecure with a high-value husband?
How do I become less insecure?
Because if she's with a high-value man that's being taught these teachings, she's being minimized because there's no honoring of your partner with this high value man teaching.
I'm not that intelligent.
So I can see how she, if she's with a high value man who's making sure he lets her know every 5 minutes that he's high value, she's not being honored, she's not being elevated, she's not being seen or lifted up. So she's becoming insecure. And I mean, at the end of the day, you got to draw a circle around yourself and get your own self into some counseling so somebody can tell you and show you who you truly are, and you begin to develop your personality so that you're strong. Because if you're married to somebody who's in that teaching, number one, start praying for them. You know, that's the first thing, because they need to detach themselves from that teaching, because a high value man, the way this is defined, isn't for a husband. That's not how we do that. A husband's job is to elevate his wife, to build her up, and to treat her like Christ treated the church or love the church. Is that not right? So we can't be minimizing each other and telling you what you're not if we're operating in the way we're supposed to be.
It's your job to speak life into her. It's your job to build her up, to encourage her, to build up her esteem, not tear her down with your words and your perspective. And so at the end of the day, some people are so high value, right? But they're high-minded, right? They think more of themselves than what they ought to. Now, Ralph says when a husband follows the ways of God, his value would be invaluable. And that's a great point. And that actually leads to our first point, right? In terms of what does it take to increase your value to become a high-value husband? He understands who he truly is. Now, this is critically important. Not who the world says you are, not what society says you are, not what the media says you are, not what the images and videos and music and movies say you are, but who created you in the first place. If you are created in the image and in the likeness of God, right? That means that you look like him, in the nature of who he is on the inside of you. Once you come to an understanding of that, that is who you truly are. That is your Father, that is your Creator, that is your source. And the more you begin to know him, the more you begin to understand who you really are, because you're formed, shaped, and fashioned to be like him in the earth within your own time and space. We talk about how the man is the masculine expression of God in the earth realm. The woman is the feminine expression of God in the earth realm. And when a man and a woman come together, they represent the totality of that image in the earth. And so you got to go back to your nature. You got to go back to your source. That's who you truly are.
And I think that a part of this, people jumping on this bandwagon, is people not having identity. Like, they actually don't know who they are. And I talked about this the other day, that, even gang members will say that the reason why they joined the gang is not because they wanted to be a killer or blood or crip necessarily, but they saw a man that had authority, that had power, and so they followed him because they needed to emulate to something. And so I think a lot of these men that are jumping on this bandwagon, they truly don't know who they are, and so they figure, you know what, I'll become this. I'm gonna create my self-worth. I'm gonna become this high value man, and then that's who I am. And that leaves out all the other positive characteristics that carry you for the long haul.
There's a phenomenal article that came out in Time magazine decades ago, and it was entitled "Dad is Destiny." And it talks about how oftentimes when children have a father, a dad, they get to understand who they really are, who they really come from, and it helps to shape their destiny. But because of fatherlessness, think about that, the absence of men have led to, think about fatherlessness and widows. Now, a widow is defined as a woman without a man. Okay? Then you have widows, and then you have, where's my Bible at? It talks about children who have no parents. They're
orphans.
Orphans, right. So orphans and widows. Think about this. Widows are women who no longer have a man. All orphans are children who no longer have a man, a father. You understand? So their identity has been shaped by the absence of a man in their life. And so many males don't have a true image of who they are because there was an absence of a male in their life, and they're searching for who they are, and they come across these cute phraseologies that they find on social media in individuals who represent, if you will, manhood, but truly don't in its full totality, because so many males are in search for their own significance, and they're grabbing on and holding on to anything that sounds good and validates who they are, who they choose to be, but they don't have the true foundation. And it is not until you get connected to your God, your creator, do you truly discover who you truly are. And once you know who you are, now you know what you're capable of being, doing, and having in the earth, and how to show up for the people who are connected to you. All right, so they understand their true identity. Next, they live by an internal moral compass. So Danielle's been talking about this. We've been talking about this, the importance of having values. An internal moral compass really dictates and governs every decision I make, every step that I take, how I live my life. So if a situation or occurrence comes into my life, it has to be filtered through my moral compass, right? And so my moral compass says that doesn't work for me. My moral compass says this is the right decision to make. So it's not based upon what looks good, what feels good, what sounds good, what I think may be good, but is there an internal value system that's governing and guiding my every move?
I think that society is stripping and robbing us of any sense of a moral compass, because at this stage, I mean, even when I listen to the youth, you know, it's like, don't judge, you know, whatever you think is the way to go. Do whatever you want to do. So it's not even about tradition, right? There was a time when your parents passed down what was passed down to them, and it just continued on. You know, traditions meant something, the way that you behave, and, you know, the way that your culture is actually meant something. But now we just shake off all of that, and we kind of just go with our own flow.
Yeah.
And the Bible talks about that, you know, where you thinking that your good is the way. Like, there is no good. No one is good. We're all jacked up. So to Hassani's point, it is really connecting with God and understanding, okay, what matters to him, what's right to him, and how close can I get to that line?
Absolutely, guys. I hope you're getting something out of this. We got one more segment to go. We're going to be going deeper into what makes a man a high value husband. Stay right tuned. We'll be right back. That's right, guys. You're watching the Couples Academy show. We are back. You just saw a commercial about the Moving Forward program. We're going to be starting a new group in September. So
Yes.
listen.
You want to be in the group.
Yeah, you do.
Ooh, you want to be in the group.
The window will soon close. So we've been getting your calls. You've been inquiring, and the group is filling up, and we look forward to serving you as a community.
Yeah. You know, during the break we were talking, and I was like, I didn't say this, but it was on my mind, the image in my head. I was accosted and insulted and traumatized by accidentally hitting a video. I was looking through some songs, and there's this video by Little X or something.
Nas X.
Whatever. I don't know what made me click the video, but I did. And it was a man who, it looked like he was glorifying going to prison. He was in pink prison clothes. There was a bunch of butt naked men dancing, twerking, flipping. And so if this is what we're looking at, you know, and then I could go on the female side of it too, because even though I love my Beyonce's music, I do, I have to acknowledge the problem. It's quite problematic for us to have these mantras of, we're gonna run the world. Women, who's gonna run the world? Girls. I mean, it's just imbalance. And that goes to my point. How is it that we are going to have morals and a clear perspective on what we should do and who we should be as men, as women, as people in this society? Because, I mean, everything about our character is disintegrating. If you just look at how people are behaving, fighting on airplanes, beating people up and over choices, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just seems like the moral compass of society is degrading. And media is at the heart of it, because a lot of what we become or desire to do is steeped in what we see with our eyes out there. So I just wanted to put that out there.
But when you juxtapose those videos, that Little Nas X freak show, and then
Oh my God.
Beyonce,
Is that what it's
right?
called, Freak Show?
No, that's what it was.
Okay.
What we're doing is society is feminizing men and masculinizing, help me folks, women.
Masculine.
Yeah, it's like the roles and the nature of men and women is shifting in society, and it's creating a problem. When I wrote the book, Why We Hate Black Women and Why We Should Love Them, phenomenal book. We talk about how there was a time when you had pretty women and working men, right? And now you have a whole lot of pretty men and working women. We switch roles, and we've lost our true identity and our true nature and the way that we should be functioning in our marriage, in our homes, and in societies. And it's caused a huge problem. And when you look at videos today and movies today and commercials and seeing what has been sensationalized, it's become the norm. It's shaping how we think. It's shaping our value system.
Yeah.
And if that is your diet, if you're consuming that every single day, it's going in your eye gate, your ear gate, it's going to come out your mouth gate.
Right.
It's going to become a part of who you are.
And I can hear somebody saying, well, what does it matter who you love? It's not about who you love. This is not a conversation about gay, straight, and all of that. It has nothing to do with that. It's about the fact that there is confusion out there about our gender roles, who we are, and what we're supposed to be doing if we want to do things God's way and have a proper family legacy and all of that. It's mixed up. And this is why you have men out here who don't understand who they are. They don't know who they are. And so they're like, what? I have no identity. I had no father in my life. You know what? This guy over here, Kevin Samuels, he sounds good. I'll jump on that bandwagon. And then you have somebody else over here, and I don't know if there's a female equivalent to Kevin Samuels, but I'm sure there is. But you got somebody over there saying, bump these men. They ain't worth nothing. And now
That's been happening for years.
Now you have a disconnect. Now you have a complete and total disconnect in the middle of the family, and that's what the problem is. And now you perpetuate that brokenness through the generations.
There is a civil war between men and women today.
Wow.
They are in high competition with each other, and there's a whole lot of people who are being hurt in the process. And because it's about me, myself, and I enter into every relationship that becomes now transactional. How are you going to serve me? What are you going to do for me?
Where's the bar?
I need a couple of
transactional.
That's what it is. It's transactional.
You just took all of that right there and you put a word on it. Transactional. We are in transactional relationships, and if you can't come with the value, bye.
Yeah.
And that's it. And nobody's looking at building anything. Nobody understands that you don't get to the top without climbing some ladders and climbing the stairs.
Yep.
Everybody wants to jump to the top. Everybody wants the high earner.
Yep.
Everybody wants this woman that is what do they want out of us women? I don't even know what that theory.
You know what we want out of
the
you.
body. So you got to go suck your waist skinny. You got to have a big butt.
It's
you got to
beauty
be a
and
freak
body.
in the bedroom. Look cute on my arm.
That's what it is.
That's it. And it's just very problematic. And we need to really, I guess we need to turn off social media, turn the TV off, and get into the Bible.
There it is.
And reset.
I was looking for one of my books. I don't see it. It's probably somewhere else. But I wrote a book called Black Thighs, Black Guys, and Bedroom Lies. Now, listen, we service everybody. So you can replace it with white lies, white guys. I mean, it doesn't matter. But the point is, this is chapter 1. We talk about the games that people play, the sexual games and relationships. And when you look at it, it's really a flesh cash connection. That's what it's all about. So this high value man is about how much money I make, and I'm going to exchange my money for flesh, right? So are you worthy to have me because of my money? And what do I want from you? I diminish you down to nothing but a piece of flesh, a piece of meat who has to now serve me, do what I not request but demand, and you should be lucky to be in my presence, lucky to be on my arm, lucky to serve me because I'm going to give you a life that you never had. I'm going to pull you up from the gutter. And that's what it is.
Oh my God, I want to go to this. Fedlina says, yes, amen.
Can I say that? Can a man say yes?
Go ahead, sure. Ralph says most of these new music videos are more like a strip club and should be rethought and taken back to the way they were when music videos started. I mean, I can't agree with you more. I mean, I don't watch a lot of videos, and I think that's why seeing that, I literally was traumatized. Like, I was just traumatized because I was thinking about oh my God, my children could stumble, anybody could stumble upon this and think that this is normal and okay and acceptable. Cool. The way to be, right? Celebrities have always shaped what you want to aspire to, especially in the young folks. And so this is shaping the minds and the outlook of our youth. And that's what is so scary about it.
Kat says, we discussed this topic yesterday. Someone had asked, does a woman from the projects deserve a high value man? My reply was, doesn't every woman deserve a good values man and treat it like a queen?
Right. Does it matter where you started?
Thank you.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
As they say in hip hop, it ain't where you're from, is where you're at. Right?
Okay.
And so just because you come from the I pulled Danielle out the project.
You're a liar.
I fixed her.
You are a whole liar.
I brought value to her life, and now she's better for it.
Now, yesterday he was talking about how when he met me, he was walking and catching a bus with corns on his toes, and I had to go pick this joker up from his mama's house. Today he picked me up from the projects, but okay. Anyway, let's go to another comment before you get yourself in trouble. Okay, did you read this, Cat Man? No, he did. Okay.
You all discombobulated.
No, I am, because I'm about to come for you in a minute. I'm trying to hold my peace. Y'all know I'm crazy. I'm trying to hold my peace. You better read a comment.
So anyway, let's go to the next one. Listen, a high value husband, this is going to be the last one today. A high value husband values his wife. Now understand, a husband is a role and a function and a duty to who? A wife. So that means I have a responsibility to her, right? To love on her, to provide for her, to protect her. There's so many things that we have to do. And so I can't be in a relationship where I diminish her, I beat her down, I make her feel less than who she is, I devalue her. It cannot happen. She is the one who I have to hold up in esteem and pour into and build into and help heal and help restore and do life with. And there's so much disconnection and dissension and so many men who are lost in terms of how they need to show up.
Go to this comment here. Kat says, it isn't just what you each bring to the table, it's also what you both build together.
That's exactly right.
And that's the stuff that has a strong foundation,
exactly
right?
And let me speak on that because
somebody said you said the book title's too slow, too fast.
I'll get there.
Okay.
But before I met Danielle, listen, I had a career. I had a path. I was speaking, I was traveling, I was writing books. And then when I met Danielle, she had skill sets, right? Practical skill sets. She had insight and a perspective that I didn't have. I had a mentor who said, Hassani, your wisdom has taken you as far as you can go. You've done a lot, you've accomplished a lot, but you've gone as far as your wisdom will allow. At this point, now you need to bring other people on who have wisdom, perspective, experience, insight that you don't have. And so this is why we say that marriage is the secret weapon, God's secret weapon for kingdom domination in the earth. Because I was fine by myself, but I became quantum leaps better when I partnered with my spouse, because what we could do together far exceeded what I could do on my own. And that's just
and
real.
vice versa. At the same time, I could say the same thing, right? That us being able to connect and put our two skill sets together allowed us to take quantum leaps. And I think that's what we are missing. We think we're supposed to do it by ourselves, but the scripture is clear. There was a need for a helpmeet.
There it is.
And it's both of us. Even though the scripture talks about one side, the helping is on both sides of it. You need to read Proverbs 31. It'll talk about who the Proverbs 31 woman is, but it also talks about how the husband treats her. That is important. That's how this thing continues to move forward.
Guys, we're talking about becoming high value. We're in part 3. We're going to have to pick this up next week because tomorrow is relationship Q&A, and we're excited because you have all of our practitioners, our coaches, our therapists who are going to be joining us for the conversation, so you can engage with us all tomorrow at 9:30. So stay tuned. Love you guys. See you in the AM.